Hello everyone and welcome to the FPL Cougars show. I'm Chris.
I'm Kieran.
And today we are previewing Gameweek 24. In tonight's show we're going to be discussing each upcoming Gameweek fixture, predicting the potential key players, differentials and clean sheets, as well as talking about Liverpool and West Ham's double game week. We'll also talk captaincy, reveal our teams, plan transfers, and the Cougar Cub pick results from the very recently finished Gameweek 23. Kieran, let's get right into it because we are literally recording this probably, an hour after the Liverpool-Manchester United game is finished.
Yep.
So we're still raw, aren't we, Kieran? We're still raw.
I mean, usually we get a couple of days to, just calm down, but not tonight. So the raw emotions are here tonight with this recording. So obviously the points haven't fully updated and everything, but I've got 33 points overall with Lundstrom coming in for Rashford this week, and with the Trent 1 bonus. So obviously way underneath the average. I took obviously some really good steps recently, and now I'm taking 10 steps back and I'm just going to where I was before. It's really disheartening when that happens, and you get going, and then this happens and you go all the way back to where you started basically. I've got basically my whole team is basically blanked apart from 2 players. The only returns for was Grealish and Trent. I got 2 bench players, Sidibe with 1 point, Mahrez with the 1 point, Vardy with his pen miss of 0, and it's just like I didn't even watch that penalty. I was watching the game. I was like, I know he's going to miss this. I could just tell. And he opened his body up and just telegraphed where he was putting it. And it was just like, I heard a thud and I was like, oh my God. And I thought, until Grealish scored, I thought Ryan was going to keep a clean sheet after I got rid of Ryan. McCarthy was looking so good, and he concedes 2 or 3 or whatever it was. And it's just like, oh my God, just get this week over with. Yeah. I'm so glad it's done.
To update everyone, that was your transfer, wasn't it, for last week? So you got rid of Ryan. You'd done that on the show previously. You got McCarthy in.
Yep.
I was really close to doing the same thing. I fancied McCarthy in the Saints' run, and I had a bit of a choice going into the deadline. Nick Pope nearly said goodbye to him, and thankfully I didn't, because he sort of saved me somewhat. I was saying to Kieran earlier, because we both watched the Liverpool United game together, and I think Pope getting that clean sheet is the first ever penalty save I've had in 11 seasons of playing, so it shows how rare it is. If you ever get a penalty save, be very thankful. But his points, Rashford I started, so I'm going to get Lundstrom off the bench, and I think bonus are going to come in, but I think I just looked at it and I'm going to get 45 total. So it's not too bad, but like we said, we don't really know what our estimated ranks are after that. I dropped pretty heavily after yesterday's really poor showing. Obviously, Captain Vardy blanked. I think that was only his third blank in maybe the last 15 or 16 games. So not good there. All right, shall we move on and talk about how we did in the FPL Cougar Cub picks, because that's a slightly brighter topic, isn't it?
For you it is anyway. So I had Hudson-Odoi, Newcastle away. I thought he would play this game, and obviously I had to back up Lacazette, and he obviously did start, and but still ended up blanking. Newcastle obviously defended well, but got 2 points, and then you had Dominic Calvert-Lewin, West Ham away, who ended up with the goal and a couple bonus. So 8 points for you. So you've closed that gap that I was making for this January at least. But totals wise, I'm on 62. You're now on 71, and January wise I'm on 13, and you're on 11. So okay, that one return where I blank is screwed me over. So,
well, lots of choice this week as well, because the game week's coming up thick and fast. So we're unusually recording on a Sunday night because the game week starts again on Tuesday, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Bunch of midweek games. Let's talk through them. Obviously, we're going to talk more about Liverpool at the end of this and our thoughts. So we've got time to sort of calm down and rethink about that, because a lot of oh my God, who are we actually going to captain came up in the United game.
Yeah, and obviously no manager of the week this week, because obviously we're recording straight afterwards. So I haven't been able to update the ranks and all that stuff. So
we'll try and do a double update next week actually for Game Week 23 and Game Week 24 winners. So all right, on to the Game Week preview. We've got our teams up on screen now. Obviously, everyone can see our captains. Perhaps we'll talk about the picks a bit later towards the end, because you and I have both got Rashford as well. He's obviously broken his back, stress fracture, out to 2 to 3 months. We're all both going to have to be thinking about replacements for him in due course. But let's go fixture by fixture and then talk about potential replacements as and when we get there. So starting with Villa against Watford. Watford, the form team in the league, 11 points from their last 15. That's the best take of any team after Liverpool. Not lost in their last 6. It's got to be another Jack Grealish goal, though, isn't it? It breaks down this Watford team.
It's the only way, right? The rest of Villa are absolutely trash. So, it's Grealish is the only guy that could do anything. He's the only guy that pretty much did anything for me this week. So, I've been thinking about selling him, but he's probably just got to stay for the season now. I think he's the talisman theory of teams. But I don't really think he's that much of a differential anymore. He's up to 20% now. I think we both bought him when he was about 5-6% or something owned. So his hauls or points this week are getting less and less effective, I suppose. But he's from game week 16 to 23. He's had a 5.62 points per game average, and game week 20 to 23, including Man City, is at a 6.25 points per average. So he's only getting better at the moment, and his fixtures, the next 4 look good. Even Tottenham at home, I think that looks good for him. Definitely. And then even Sheffield United at home looks good. So the next 5 are pretty good, to be honest. For Grealish, maybe not for Villa, but I'm happy to keep him. Possibly for the season, as I said. So hopefully he just keeps going. Really?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I really like owning him. He's fun to watch. He looks so tidy on the highlights of the game against Brighton. His finish was quality as well. So
very nice.
He's just dragging them up towards, hopefully safety for them. But it's going to be a tough task, and they're relying on his goals. So if they dry up, they're in trouble. So long may it continue. Yeah,
they need to sign a striker badly because Doja or whatever he's called is not doing anything, and the 3 up top, 3 sort of false 9 mids up top isn't really working either. So they need to sign someone definitely pretty sharp.
Watford, I got to say, well done to you for predicting the clean sheet against Spurs last week's show, because they held out, and I think it's their defensive options which are sort of really come into the fore recently. So I think they've had 4 clean sheets in our last 6 games, and there's just such value. I think that the way Pearson's got them operate at the moment, if they're going to go away to Spurs, if they're going to play Spurs and keep a clean sheet, I think they can keep a clean sheet in this game at Villa. They've got Everton after that at home. I think that the top picks on their sort of defensive line from a budget point of view, if you're looking to move some funds around ahead of this Liverpool double game week, Mariappa and Cathcart, 4.2 and 4.3 million respectively. They've both played in those clean sheets, and just great value options. I think Foster is obviously the other one to mention because he's been insanely consistent. So he's been the 6th best point scorer in the game in the last 6 game weeks. He's managed 37 points, 6.1 points per game. His ownership is still super low, so he's owned by less than 5%, 4.9 million. And even despite his insane run, only 13,000 new 13,000 people have transferred in this week. So he's still somewhat, despite sitting at the very tippy top of the goalkeeper standings, going a bit under the radar.
It's just that price, isn't it? That's pissed so many people off. I remember getting him last year, he was sort of around this sort of time of the season, and he was great towards the end. So I would like to own him, just value and money. I just don't have it.
Yeah, no, agree. Yeah, he looks a good option. Maybe, hopefully for next season, he might drop back down to 4-5. But if he's continuing this form up, then maybe not.
Probably not.
No. All right, Bournemouth against Brighton. Now, Bournemouth, man. I mean, Steve Cook with that wizardry sort of save and leap, and then
loved it.
Callum Wilson fluffing like that shot from 6 yards out and falling over. I'm really worried for them, as they are the worst team in the league over the last 5 games and probably longer. 1 point in the last 5. That's the worst run any team has had in the league this season. Failed to score in the last 4 matches. Just feel like I don't know what can change for them at the moment. Do you see any sort of glimmer of hope for them?
I mean, not really. I don't really see them making any signings. Do you?
No.
That could
Change
help
them.
really. I mean, at least Wilson had a shot on target in that game, as he hadn't had one on target since November or something like that, or October.
Yep.
So he's 4.6% owned. Their fixtures are arguably the best in the game at the moment. The next 4,
they're so good, aren't they?
So such a shame, because obviously at the start of the season we all owned them, but their XG has been 2.65 the last 4 weeks, and they've scored 0. So 19th overall. I'm not sure who's is last, but they've got to be doing a terrible job to be worse than Bournemouth right now in XG. But yeah, XGC of 7.41, 10 conceded, is 18th overall, but there's actually a big gap to them to the 19th, so which is Newcastle are on 9.0, so that's quite a big gap at least. But anyway, they're still conceding loads over the expected, and you've just got to target them right now. Obviously, Rico, I think we should quickly mention him. We thought he was possibly dropped from the team, but I did say last week it might have just been a rest, and because he was playing all the games, and he has come straight back in. So hopefully that's a sign that he is going to continue with his place, because I'm probably going to need him as a bench option. But they still look terrible. So
yeah, it's a real strange one, because for maybe the last 2 weeks we've been saying this is the moment they've got to turn the corner. And that away game against Norwich, I mean, it's just bad management bad game management from Cook to sort of like get sent off for something like that, because it's just going to be an uphill battle. Just let the goal go in. You might be able to come back about 11 against 11, but obviously set them back. I mean, Brighton do have a pretty poor record on the road, so they failed to win 9 of their last 10 away matches, and we know Villa are quite porous, and that's Bournemouth's next 2 home games. But man, if they don't get I'd say they think they really need to get 2 wins really in these next 2 at home. But like I say, because they've been so poor, I just don't see where they're going to springboard back from. So yeah, strange one. I sort of feel like Trossard could be a key to their downfall this one. I was sort of pleased because he had a good performance against Villa. He obviously got the goal. He had a key pass as well, and joint max bonus. 2 returns in the last 4 games, and he's now started all those because, I mean, it seemed like, especially over Christmas and sort of late November time, he wasn't getting those consistent run of gains. He's now, like I say, started 4 in a row, and he's averaged over 5 points per game in that time, 5.8 million, 0.4%. So I think Trossard is potentially quite a nice option, especially with their fixtures. So Bournemouth, West Ham away, the next 2 for Brighton, Watford at home, Sheffield United away, and Crystal Palace at home. They're a pretty tasty run, and yeah, I think if you potentially can't stretch to Grealish, or you're getting a bit sick of Traore, I doubt it after his haul at the weekend. I think Trossard offers good value, and yeah, it looks like a good option.
I did actually look at him last night as a way to sort of just get him in and possibly go to a 5 midfield. But yeah, I like it. I don't think he did too much in that game, honestly. No. But like I think he was kind of fortunate to score. It was Reina who screwed it up. Really, it was a bad save or bad missed save. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but I like him, and the fixtures are great, so he could continue. So.
Yeah, I think if you've got a Trossard-shaped hole in your midfield line, this is the game week to bring him in up against this woeful Bournemouth team, and
True.
West Ham up next. It could be good options. I also want to get the mention out to another budget-priced defender in Bernardo. So he's sort of playing wing-back, left-back, I believe it was. He's only starting because, is it Webster who got injured?
Burn, I think.
Burn. Oh, that was it, yeah, who got injured. So he got a bonus point against Villa despite sort of not having any attacking returns and the game finishing 1-1. He created 1 big chance and had 2 penalty area touches. And from the highlights in his heat map, he was really pushing on. So I thought he looked like quite a decent, potentially short-term option, because I think that player's injury is going to be like a month or 2. So yeah, could be good for the upcoming run of games.
Yep.
Palace, Southampton. Shall I just lead on Ings, and then we can talk about the defensive chaos in a minute, because
you broke him.
I broke Ings. So obviously everyone knows that I've been coveting Ings since game week maybe 14, game week 13 when he played away at Arsenal. Every week I say I'm going to need to get Ings in. Finally got him in, and yeah, blanked in a game where Southampton went 2-0 up and ended up losing. He only had 26 touches, 1 block shot. Pretty poor all-round performance by him and Southampton, actually. Their XG was really low. They had a 0.8 XG in that game. So it's quite amazing they scored 2 goals. I did say on last week's show that Wolves were very good at limiting shots in the box, and I think Saints only had 8 of those, and no big chances created. So like I say, I think they were quite fortunate to actually score those 2. So just a strange performance. I mean, you and I both got Saints defenders in. I got Stevens in. You got McCarthy. I think this was their was it the first time since game week 18 they conceded more than 1, and both ruined our, I don't know.
McCarthy only made 1 save as well.
Really?
So
Not good, is it?
conceding 3 and only made 1 save. It's just like, really?
It would have been typical of my recent luck if if I transferred out Pope for McCarthy, and then he went and got that 1 point while Pope picked up the big points.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, what can you tell me about Palace? Because Ings did score against them earlier in the season, I believe.
Would you think? Just quickly, do you think Ings is still worth getting for a Rashford replacement sort of thing? Is he gone off the boil now because he looked really terrible?
I think Wolves. I don't know. We said it was going to be a strange game after last week because I sort of fancied Jimenez to find his boots again, scoring boots again, and he did. But I still think that the fixtures are good for Southampton. So they've got, after this Crystal Palace and Liverpool game, they've got Burnley, Aston Villa, West Ham, and that Burnley Aston Villa game at home. Notoriously, neither have been great defensively recently. West Ham haven't been great either. So I think Ings is still a good price.
He can play versus Liverpool, right? He's not. They did buy him, didn't they?
I believe they did. Yeah. I'm sure we would have heard more about that.
Fair enough. Okay. So yeah, Palace. Their run of fixtures, nobody seems to be talking about it, and I didn't even really notice this either. Their run of fixtures are actually really good, but they're against teams that can defend pretty well. So Southampton at home, Sheffield United at home, Everton away, and Newcastle at home. Then Brighton away, then Watford at home, then Bournemouth away. These are great fixtures. Like the next four against teams that are decent defensively, so maybe not their attackers, but I think there's possibly points from someone like Kelly, who's 30.2% owned still, and he seems to have nailed down his place still because Ward was back on the bench. So everyone thought Ward was first choice, but he's not come straight back in. So Kelly for the time being seems to still be nailed because I think he's played well there. He still has no sort of real attacking threat there, but he's done a job filling in, and I don't see why Hodgson would drop him, to be honest. Decent bench option if you have him. He's still so high owned. I don't own him. I don't think you do either, but there's possibly a few clean sheets.
Kelly.
Do you? Okay, right.
You're playing him this week up against Danny Ings.
Sure. Okay.
Woo-hoo.
So there's a few clean sheets over those runs for sure, and obviously a lot of people own Guaita, and he obviously is still getting lots of saves. So okay. Someone else to mention is Tosin, who obviously just been bought. Second game at Palace, started away at City, which I don't think anyone really expected. He's 0.1% owned. That means the guy is probably going to start playing every game from now on, I would imagine. Looks probably nailed. But 103 minutes last 2 weeks, an XG of 0.65, an XA of 0.12. That's obviously not great. Only 2 shots, but they're both on target. 1 big chance, 1 goal, 1 bonus, 8 points. So, if he continues with the minutes, massive differential, and those fixtures look so good. So,
it's the fixtures have looked good with Palace before, and I highlighted Jordan Ayew last week because I thought he was looking good and posting up some good numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, the more I looked into it, whilst Jordan Ayew and individual players are going good, the team stats do worry me all the time with Palace. Like you say about the XG 3.1 or whatever it was in the last 4 game weeks, and only 5 goals scored, and how bad that was. Did you say it was 18th?
18th overall, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty poor. So, but you do say they have got the good fixture run to sort of set and forget someone, but it's whether you
imagine you've got a Tosin or Ayew in your team at such low percent and they score over these fixtures. You're gonna rock it, hopefully. But and then just quickly to mention Zaha, that was a Stonewall penalty on him that wasn't given by Stones. God knows what the VAR is looking at. VAR has just been, I don't even know what to say at this point. I think we just have to admit that it's farcical. So no Millie still. I think assume he's back next week. I think. But maybe Zaha would have taken the penalty. Would have been his assist if he didn't take it. With those fixtures, maybe he's worth looking at again, possibly. I don't know, but we've obviously been there before, and he's not done particularly well. But
we had that time earlier in the season when they had that good run, and he didn't really sort of like pull up any trees on that. I think he got maybe
he did get a few goals.
I was going to say, did he get 2 goals? But I mean, the fixture run was like 7 or 8 games. I mean, if you look at someone like Grealish, who's obviously coming at 6 and sort of being the main man for Villa, still with good runs, it's like how many more sort of like low priced mids do you want in your team? But you're right, he is their sort of talisman. I thought you were going to go off on a Graham Souness type VAR rant then, and that really started shaking.
Not this time.
Okay, not this time. All right, let's talk
probably at the end of the season when I have a VAR rant about the crap that's gone on. That'd be nice to review all the terrible
That'd
decisions.
be really fun, wouldn't it? Okay. All right. Should we talk about Everton against Newcastle? Because your boy Sidibe didn't play. So, what's your plan with him?
I think. Well, apparently, I put it on Twitter. I didn't actually see this, but apparently Ancelotti said he was going to do some rotation with defenders. They've got a lot of games coming up, so it just seemed like it was Sidibe's turn. Mina was rested the week before. I think Digne has had a rest possibly at some point. So yeah, possibly Holgate's turn to be rested this week. I think he started every single game since week 10, so it might be Holgate's turn. But yeah, I think he should come straight back in. He's not done anything wrong to be dropped or anything. So and when he came on, I think he looked okay. Maybe that's why he's still only on 2.3% because he's maybe not Neil because Coleman obviously is the captain and everything. But I think I'm happy to keep going forward. It depends really on what I do for the Liverpool assets. He might be the cash cow to possibly get Robertson if I end up going that way. But yeah, so the team stats for Everton, XG is 3.38 with only 2 goals scored, which is pretty bad. XGC of 6.84 with 5 conceded.
That's not too bad.
It's all right. But fixtures: Newcastle at home, Watford away, Crystal Palace at home, Arsenal away, and then Man United at home. The next 5. So keep for the next 3, I think, Sidibe or DCL stuff, people like that, and then possibly look to move them on. But yeah, someone like DCL, who's obviously been quite consistent, I guess. He's got 12, 1, 1, and 8 in his last 4 weeks, but he's completely nailed on since game week 16. Played 90 minutes in every week, so you could possibly keep DCL as just a cheap sort of forward because none of the other forwards are really doing much right now. And he's only 7.3% owned, so I like him going forward. But in the moves that I want to do, I'd like to bring him in, but I'm just 0.1 short, which is the FPL thing that happens all the time. So great. Yeah, DCL's stats are really, really good. 2.64 XG, XA of 1.22, 13 shots, 3 goals, 4 big chances, 5 key passes, 1 big chance created. So he looks like he's going to get goals and assists. His stats look all round one of the best in the league at the moment. So yeah, like him.
Yeah, I really like him. Like I highlighted last week, him against Richarlison, he was just pulling over big numbers over Richarlison, despite Richarlison having so much more transfers in last week. And he came to the fore. I thought he took his goal really well. Difficult header, and got up well to me. It really. I actually think that in these 2 home games, the next 3, they're going to get clean sheets. Newcastle on the road, really awful in front of goals. They've had an XG of 1.8 in the last 3 away games, which is second worst in the league after Burnley. And you have Crystal Palace. I know we were just talking about Palace having some good fixtures, but they aren't exactly ripping up any. I've just said ripping up any trees again, Kieran. I'm using the same cliche all the time. Jeez. Basically, Palace aren't very good in front of goal on the road either. I know they scored 2 against City, but they seem to play better in those big games where they've got a bit more chance to play on the break with Zaha.
So 2 out of 3 clean sheets.
Yeah, I'd fancy a clean sheet in both of those games. That's why I think it's worth keeping hold of the Everton defence. So they've actually kept clean sheets in their last 3 home games. I reckon they could easily extend that run to 5 home games with 5 clean sheets, to be honest. Yeah, I think they could be good for that.
I mean, and obviously, just quickly, Holgate. I said he's possibly due a rest, but rose once this week, so to 4.5 million, 1.8%. Like I said, nailed on since week 10. But yeah, since week 18, he's had 6, 6, 2, 1, 7, and 8. So that's sort of like Grealish sort of numbers kind of thing. He's consistent. Like if he's not getting some sort of clean sheet, he's getting a attacking return. So his stats going forward aren't particularly sustainable or very good, but he seems to be the kind of 4.5-ish, similar to Sionku when we all got him. So I like him obviously, and I think he should be taken advantage of at that price, and they're decent fixtures of the next 3. So
yeah, no, I like it. On the Newcastle side of things, like I say, they're not looking too good in front of goal, despite that late Hayden winner against Chelsea on Saturday night. It's actually Dubravka who's had the most points in the last 4 away games. He's picked up 17, which is just over 4 points per game average, which is pretty decent numbers. I also want to just mention Lascelles because he's come back into the team and picked up a clean sheet on his first start back since game week 12. So I quite like that. I also really do quite like Newcastle's fixtures. So Lascelles only 4.2. They only play 2 of the traditional top 6 teams until game week 36, which is basically like the end of the season. That's 12 game weeks of really good fixtures. He's 2.3% owned. I think if you're going to invest in Newcastle at this point, it's surely got to be in their defenders. I'd look back at Joe Linton. He obviously hit the woodwork, had missed a big chance in the game Chelsea against Chelsea at the weekend. Do you want to guess how many attacking returns he's had this season? I thought it'd be fun to test you on that.
Probably 2.
Oh, you're close. It was 3 actually. Yeah, so not too bad. Interestingly enough, they've all come in away games. So perhaps if anyone is going to break Everton's resolve and maybe lose Holgate and Sidibe and all the others a clean sheet, it could be the main man, Big Joe.
Joe. If I had the luxury of being able to swap Rico to Lascelles, I'd absolutely do it. Just because Lundstrom is, obviously we'll talk about him next, but maybe not nailed on anymore. No. Sionku's not keeping clean sheets, and the defence is a worry right now, and Lascelles looks like he could be good.
We both want to play our wild cards, don't we?
I think my whole team's got question marks on it right now, so yeah. But
no, really agree.
Not yet.
All right, so on the Sheffield United, I play Man City. To be honest, I look at this game and I still think that it's going to be a tough one, or I still think it's going to be a tough one for City. I feel like Sheffield United could pull up a result. I was having a look at how poorly, well not poorly so much as how shot shy City have been on the road in recent weeks before that Villa game, because obviously that Villa game was a bit of a freak result. So they've had 11 big chances in the last 3 away games, although 6 of those came against Villa. In their 3 away games before that, City only had 22 shots in the box, which was half of Leicester's 44 and 2 less than Bournemouth, who are really struggling. So those numbers really surprised me. They've just been super clinical, basically, because they've scored 2 goals in 11 of the last 12 away games. So those numbers are amazing. But their underlying numbers for how they're getting those chances aren't particularly high. So I feel like, due to Sheffield United's resolve, this could be a tricky game for them. Having a look at Sheffield United's numbers at home, they've only conceded a total of 8 shots in the box in the last 4 games, which is the joint best in the league with Everton. So I think sort of taking those 2 things into consideration and how well Sheffield United sort of held on at the Etihad, I think this could be a tough game for City, especially after sort of like the late goal conceded last time out.
What was the score at Etihad?
I think it was 2-0. Pretty sure it's 2-0.
To City?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Right. Yeah, because I remember it was again. I think Jesus got 2 goals, and I think it was the only game I captained Kevin for, and he blanked in it. That's why I vaguely remember it quite well.
Right.
Yeah. So you talk about Lundy, because you mentioned a minute ago that you were thinking about, I don't know, is he past his...
Well, he's been taken off before 70 minutes in the last 2 games. Obviously missed the one before that out of injury. So yeah, he hasn't been playing particularly well. His stats aren't even getting to 0.1 on any of them. So yeah, his attacking stats have completely gone off the boil. So what's he offering anymore? I don't know. The clean sheets haven't really been there either. So, but their fixtures after City are good, obviously. But is he nailed on? Like, I don't know. Like,
it's a strange one.
Maybe not. But maybe it would jump into conclusions still. But it's a worrying sign. And I don't want to, if I'm going for double Liverpool attack, I don't want to have Lundstrom to be relied upon if he's not going to be nailed on from now on. So. It's a worrying trend that's happening. What do you think?
To be honest, as long as he's starting, I'm not too worried, and I don't mind him coming off after the 60th minute if he's banked those 2 points.
Of course, but like, is he going to be starting? We don't know.
No, I think until he doesn't start, I'm trying not to worry about it and just assuming that he's gonna play, and Wilder's going to take him off. So yeah, for me, he's not like a serious worry yet. He's like an amber worry.
Okay, so what about, obviously I've got Mahrez was benched this week. Got KDB as well. I assume Mahrez would play against Sheffield United because he was benched, right? He should probably come in.
Yeah.
And obviously they were playing better with Mahrez. Like, maybe Sterling is the poison on this team. Whenever Sterling plays, they play crap. So I don't know. Yeah, do I keep Mahrez now? Because he was obviously the cash cow for the triple up on Liverpool. What do you think?
I think he's going to play against Sheffield United again after having a unexplainable rest. Like, they had a week off He played his best game of the season, picked up his highest points total. Obviously, he had lots of transfers in FPL. And to see him benched and come on for 17 minutes in... Yeah, that game just seemed like a bit of a surprise, really.
I considered captaining him as well, because I thought, there's no chance. There's a week between. He's been playing so well. Why would he be benched?
Yeah, still outscored Vardy.
Well, exactly. But, so... Yeah, this is the problem with him, obviously, Pep and everything, but when he does play, he obviously always does well, and I think he's the kind of player that can break down Sheffield United, for sure. So,
yeah,
it's so hard, because, I mean, I think the fixtures after are good for him, too.
Yeah, it's really strange. Yeah, it's a
Tottenham away, who've been terrible, West Ham United at home, I think that's great. Obviously, the ones after that are difficult, and they've got a hard run. Like, I would probably look to move him on eventually, but am I going to regret getting rid of him this week?
I don't know. I said that like a couple of weeks ago. Like, I would never bring in Mahrez because like this, I'd just be fretting every whether he's going to start or not. If he doesn't start, like Pep usually does, he will usually sub a player on, especially in those wide positions, and he'll pick up maybe a one point. Yeah, cameo, and that's not really what you want from your 8 million,
of course not,
point something investment. So no, it is a difficult one. I'd probably get rid of him, but I think after he's done so well for you, it's difficult to do that.
Oh yeah, I'd be so miffed if I lose points from him. Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
But obviously, it was still a good transfer at the time.
Yeah,
it's still like 18 points over 2 weeks, which is great.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. On KDB, I messed up when I was trying to remember earlier, and I've waited to rectify it. I'd captained him for the game he blanked against Everton when they won. I think it was was it 2-1 or 3-1? It was the Sheffield United game where he actually scored. I think he got 1 goal and 1 assist and got 14 points. So if I'd had captained him for that game, it would have been good. So yeah, Kevin had done well against Sheffield United previously, and he played so well against Palace. 6 key passes, 1 big chance created, hit the woodwork from that free kick. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I did. Really unlucky. 6 shots. I think it's quite unlucky for him not to return. And I think obviously everyone at I think he was the highest or the most picked captaincy option for this game week. So
it was.
Yeah, after he blanked and Vardy had that Burnley game, I'm sure a lot of the KDB captainers were looking at thinking, "Oh my god!" But it turned out all right for them, and they made 4 points on the Vardy captainers. But it's strange how you can use stats, because you can either say with KDB he's now blanked twice in his last 3 games. Or you can look at it and say he's had 2 blanks in his last 7 games. So I think he's still in really, really good form. And he's not going anywhere for me.
Yeah, I agree. Lots of people trying to possibly sell him for Salah or someone like that. But in my opinion, no. Don't do that.
No way.
He's too good. Yeah.
On Aguero, so that's 5 goals in 2 games now. So that before today, I think that was half of what Salah had managed this season. And it's the same as what Lacazette has scored this season. 33 points in 2 games. He's still relatively low on the ownership, so it'll be interesting to see if that shoots up. 16.3%. Still under 12 million at 11.9 and returned in each of his last 3. If I had a wild card right now, Kieran, Aguero would be sort of like my number 1 target.
Nah. No. Honestly, I don't think he's worth bringing in now. I think you need to be on him when he hauls just at the right time. But now I think that with Champions League coming back soon and lots of games coming up, I think he's going to be a rotation risk again. So I think as last year we got 2 back-to-back hat-tricks, like this year where he gets back-to-back hauls, like I think it's probably time for him to, maybe not move on from if you have him, but I wouldn't be bringing him in now. I know that might be bad advice, but that's just my feel and historic that's what sort of happens.
All right, no, fair enough. I think it's going to be a tough one, this one for City, though. So, despite my vice captaincy on De Bruyne at the moment, I'm obviously pinning all my hopes on the Liverpool boys playing. Yeah,
surely put a vice on one of Liverpool's.
Yeah,
no?
I probably will do.
Just the doubles, So quickly before going on, even though we've been on this for a while, Fleck, who's obviously doing really well, 4.9 million, 3.4% owned. Possibly a better option than Cantwell, not sure, possibly. But 2, 2, 9 and 10 in his last 4, which is nice and consistent. Fleck versus Cantwell for the last 4 weeks, right? So shots 5 versus 8, so Fleck is first, Cantwell second. Big chances 0 versus 1, XG of 0.24 versus 0.92. So Cantwell's nicely ahead there. But goals 1 versus 1, key passes 4 versus 2, big chances created 2 versus 0, an XA of 1.01 versus 0.33. So, and Fleck 1 assist versus 0. And so Fleck comes into his own with his sort of big chances, key passes, chances created, an XA. And then, points is 23 versus 16. So Fleck, outdoing him for the same sort of price. Sheffield United obviously don't score loads of goals, but Fleck seems to be a nice sort of value punt and getting the goals at the moment, I suppose. So why not, I guess? I think lots of people have just been like, oh, it's not going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
But I think possibly it could be.
Yeah, interesting one. Yeah, he's a good price. I think if you're playing maybe 5 in midfield, he'd be that fifth midfielder. But yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, nice. Chelsea and Arsenal?
Yes.
Tammy, I got rid of him this week. I was really worried after seeing that Ings blank. And I was thinking, Tammy's going to punish me against a poor Newcastle sort of defence. But yeah, they obviously held out. Tammy missed quite a few chances, I thought. And watching the highlights back, I was like, my God.
Say that every week.
Yeah, we do say that every week. Yeah, I don't know, what are you going to do with him? Obviously, he's probably one of the players you can feel safe about owning because at least you know he's going to start.
I mean, yeah, but I don't particularly like him at the moment. I would, if Rashford was fit, he was going this week. So yeah, I had no real plans to keep him, but I'm probably forced into keeping him now. But their fixtures are terrible. I think Arsenal at home is okay because Arsenal haven't been that good defensively. But yeah, I guess I'm forced into keeping him. His stats are still pretty good. Like 15 shots, XG of 2.41, 4 big chances, 2 goals, 1 assist over the last 4. So that's decent, but he's a cash cow for Salah, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm probably forced into keeping him because I don't want to take too many hits, and just unfortunate. I maybe if I can roll a transfer next week, and well, not roll a transfer, or possibly bring Ings in next week or something like that for him, that might be the way to go. But yeah, not enthused about owning him right now, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no, same. Even though I was worried about him, like after he blanked, it sort of reminded me like, oh well, yeah, he's just a bit meh at the moment.
Yeah, after that Saturday of just terribleness up until that Chelsea game, I was like, oh, come on, Tabby. Like, loads of people got rid of him. Let's do something now. And against a poor Newcastle side. But no, not to be.
I feel like the same way about Tammy as I do about the Arsenal players this season. I'm just like never really been that interested in any of them. So they've managed 1 clean sheet away from home all season. So I feel like they're going to concede against Chelsea. Maybe it will be Tammy that scores, but more likely Willian due to his form. But yeah, just don't fancy any Arsenal assets at the moment. It's really hard to highlight any of them. So I thought Lacazette looked like he was going to step up with Aubameyang out. He got given the captain's armband. He managed 1 shot, which was blocked, and 1 key pass all game. I actually thought it was Martinelli who looked good, as well as obviously scoring. 4.5 million. He had 3 shots against Sheffield United. Obviously good positioning for the goal. He's had 2 goals in his last 4 starts. So, I mean, I'd be fascinated to see what an Arsenal team would look like if Laka left or Aubameyang left in the summer, and if Martinelli gets given a start through the middle, because he does look like a proper player. I know he's young. Perhaps I'll get some Arsenal fans.
Can't see it, but
yeah, perhaps some Arsenal fans will comment on the video and just let me know what they think of him. But I feel like he looks sort of like what Rashford was like when he was young and just getting into the team. Like he's hungry. He looks like he's got a bit about him, and I just feel like if one of those 2 leaves, he could be in prime position to get in the team more often. I like him.
Yeah, I agree. I like him too. Yeah, 100%.
So I think with basically how I don't know how nullified, let's say, Arsenal have been in the game against Sheffield United, I feel like they're going to be shot shy as well in this Chelsea game. So Aubameyang had 4 big chances in his last 4 away games, which is 4 times more than any other player. So Laka, Ozil and Martinelli had all had 1. I just can't see where any goals are going to come from in this game. So I feel like it's going to be a Chelsea win to 0 here.
Yeah, hope so. If I'm forced to keep Tammy's going to get some chances because he always does. So, but he's just so unclinical. It's getting really annoying. So, but it would just be FPL, sod's law that when you think about selling someone, then he goes and hauls or something. So, I'm probably forced into keeping him. So I'm just going to have to make do. Yeah. All right. Hope he does something. But Chelsea's fixtures are obviously terrible at the moment as well. Just Arsenal home, Leicester away, Man United home, Tottenham home, Bournemouth away. So the next 4 are gross, even though Leicester look pretty bad right now. So they could probably win that fairly easy. Probably win this one, the Arsenal one. And then Man United, without Rashford, they could probably win that too. Yeah. So, yeah, Tottenham away, that's not even that bad either. Or Tottenham home, sorry. So, yeah, maybe they're great fixtures, actually. Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's move on.
All right, Leicester against West Ham. I suppose on the Leicester side of things, you and I were probably both looking at this game today against Burnley thinking, right, we need to get some points on the board in any form. I don't care if people have mass captain Vardy because I just need anything. And all their players seem to be faltering a little, maybe. So, I mean, you had a big stat on Vardy, which you surprised me with earlier.
Yeah, he's only had 2 shots on goal since Boxing Day, and only 1 on target, which was his penalty today. So, yeah, that's seemed to have come from nowhere. He's only had 1 goal since week 18, which was against City. That seems like a long time ago now. He's had an assist since then. He's had a return, but yeah, only 1 goal since 18. That seems
it's mad, isn't
awful.
it? Awful.
Yeah. Like, where's that come from? All those weeks where he's blanked.
Has he had 2 off in that time?
2 off, yeah. So not ideal. And Vardy is not looking the man he was. No. And Leicester as well. They're not creating the chances for him. So. And like I said earlier, I just knew he was going to miss that penalty. He just made it so obvious where he was going to go with it. And good for you, I suppose, with Pope, but so annoying. I just thought finally we might get something up on the KDB captainers and get a return, and then it just felt like he was destined to miss it.
Yeah, but I mean, I was sort of highlighting Leicester's sort of poor clean sheet form as well in front of them, or poor defensive record last week on the show, and now in a game that we thought they would sort of hold out against a poor Burnley team, we couldn't rely on that, and in fact concede 2 goals on a single pointer from Soyuncu. It's just not good enough.
Yeah, no. So yeah, but their fixtures are coming to an end, or good fixtures really. Like West Ham at home is obviously good, but I can see someone from West Ham scoring, especially now since their form's dropped off a cliff. So, I mean, Chelsea at home after that, not good, is it really? You can see them conceding. So Wolves away, you can see them conceding there. Man City, at home. Their next 4 are probably not clean sheets, right? So Soy, is he time to go? Maybe. We know he's starting, obviously. So if there's other fires, then but he's not reliable anymore, I don't think.
No, he's going for me this week. He's how I'm going to get my 3rd Liverpool player. So Robertson's coming in for Soy. Onchu, you heard it here first. What was your opinion on Maddison? Because I didn't watch the game, not seen that one. I obviously had Maddison in my team for 3 weeks now. That West Ham game looks good on paper. I feel like I might trade him to Martial, but yeah.
Other than Barnes, who obviously scored today, I think he was the best of a bad bunch today. He had a few shots, but a little bit wasteful in the final third. His final ball was poor, so I don't know, and he let other people take a free kick, I think it was as well. So
he did let another person take a free kick.
It was sort of like a crossy type one, but yeah. So I'm not sure. I think if you have him, you probably keep him for this game, and then readjust later on, possibly to maybe bring in Grealish if you don't have him. But yeah, I still think he's worth some points, but yeah, not to be today.
Yeah. On the West Ham side of things, I thought their numbers for expected goals, so 6.2 in the last 4 games and 6 scored, which is higher than Spurs, United, Liverpool and Arsenal. So they're obviously doing the right things going forward. And defensively, they're not too bad either. So XG of 6.6, only 4 conceded. So they're a little bit off their sort of expected numbers, excuse me. And you and I probably expected it to get much worse over the double where they play Leicester and Liverpool.
Yeah, I think so.
In the highlights, I just thought Haller looked just woefully out of form. He had that really good big chance and just shot it straight at Pickford. It wasn't even like Pickford had to make a good save. Had 7 returns all season. I feel like none of the West Ham options are really sort of standing out to me. I thought Snodgrass, 5.2 million looked okay in the game at the weekend. 6, 1 and 5 since Moyes took over. 3 shots, 1 key pass versus Everton. But he doesn't really sort of get me excited, and I don't think their fixtures are particularly that good. I know they've got the double, but yeah, I'm not really keen on any of them at the minute.
I think the fixtures are terrible. The 2 and the double are awful.
Yeah.
Obviously Leicester less menacing now, but yeah, Brighton after that, then Man City, then Liverpool again, and then Southampton are obviously looking good. Like it's tough for them.
It is. All right, on to Spurs, Norwich. Spurs, poor. Is this? Do you think the Jose effect is sort of happened already?
The poison effect, pretty much.
Yeah.
Came in early. What, like 10 weeks? Into, I don't know how long he's had, but Gazaniga probably giving his owners one last return after suffering for ages of only like one clean sheet. But yeah, 14-point haul, clean sheet, and the penalty save. I think top joint highest scorer this week. So yeah, but Lloris is close to fitness now, so his place is obviously limited for the time being. So Son, someone to mention. Obviously, people are looking to plop him in.
Yeah.
When people are going the double defense from Liverpool instead of the double mids, so they're looking at Son. But obviously, when he's the past 4 weeks when not suspended, he's had 2, -1, 2, and 3. So that's obviously terrible. He's not looked as involved on the wing. His shot volume's down. His chances are drying up. So I don't think Jose is really implementing him correctly or how he used to be. He was so much better, wasn't he? So
definitely.
So he's had 8 shots, an XG of 0.54, 3 key passes, 1 big chance created, an XA of 0.65. So, but yeah, that's 5 points in 4 weeks he's had. That's not including the suspension, but including the suspension, it'll be 5 points in 8 weeks. So obviously he wasn't playing, sure, but that's 8 weeks of him only getting 5 points at 9.9 million. It's not good. And he rose yesterday, I think. So I don't know what people have been watching because he's looked bad. So, yeah.
Like the Arsenal fans, I'd be interested to hear from the Spurs fans what you think of them at the moment, because like the last 2 fixtures, Watford and Norwich, I would have expected Jose to come up with some way to make them more, I don't know, to fill the void left by Caleb and just to make them more exciting from an attacking point of view. But yeah, they've just looked woeful. And like you say, about the XG, they're massively underperforming it, but maybe they've been played in the wrong positions. I don't know, but it seems a far cry when
he's trying to make Lucas the 9, and that Son should be the 9, and Lucas should just be playing off him. And it's just, and Ali's obviously blanked again. Yeah. So selling him for Mahrez is obviously 18 points compared to 4, pretty good. But yeah, it's just I can't say they're worth keeping for anything. Like Aurier, owners are probably a bit unlucky to not get a couple bonus at the end. Yeah. But yeah, I can't say worth getting him either. But if you have him, keep him for Norwich, obviously. But they just don't look great.
No. We did highlight their defence last week and how well Aurier have been doing. So obviously good that their defence came in. But from the attacking side of things, just looking woeful. It's Norwich who roll up to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Norwich have failed to win 10 of their last 11 away Premier League games. I sort of do feel like, despite all I've said about Spurs, that they're probably going to sneak over the line in this one. Buendia looks like he's been the main sort of man in form recently. So he had 4 key passes, 1 big chance created, and 5 shots against Bournemouth. He's had 18 points in the last 4 games. Despite that, despite blanking against Bournemouth, that's over 4 points per game average. He is still quite pricey though. He's like just 6 million. Interestingly though, so to compare him up against other mids under 6.5, he's the 4th highest for expected points over the last 4 game weeks. He's had 19 on the expected points and 18 total. So he's sort of putting out what his stats are suggesting, and I think he's ticking along quite nicely in a game. Obviously, at the weekend, we had a lot of questions over whether Campbell should be started ahead of Rashford. And obviously he did outscore him by 3-0. But yeah, it's Buendia who sort of caught my eye in that one and played quite well, really.
Yeah, if Norwich go down, I think someone's going to buy Buendia. I think he could do well in a top 6 side. I think he could do well in someone like a United team. Like compare him to someone like Lingard in the 10 position. Yeah. It's night and day. Buendia is clearly better. I hopefully see him next season if Norwich go down, which they probably will.
Yeah.
So.
No, he's posted good numbers all season from an attacking point of view. I think if he'd scored a few more goals, we'd be really talking with him. But his sort of creative numbers are up there on the edge of sort of Grealish. So yeah, he's not too bad really. Pookie, just shout out to him. First goal since game week 17. Nice to just mention his name again after all the early season excitement he gave us. All right, United against Burnley. Now, should we just get straight into it? Because obviously the Rashford news has come to us like in the last hour or two with Henry Winter tweeted out about his back. We'd sort of heard some bits on Saturday and late last week about it potentially could be out for the season. Now we've heard it's 2 to 3 months. Ugh. What do we do, Kieran?
Not sure, really. It's. I don't think any of the replacements are that good. We've discussed DCL. I think his short-term fixtures are good. If that allows you Salah. Annoyingly, I'm 0.1 short of doing that sort of move. But yeah, I like DCL. Jimmy, obviously, tough fixtures, right? But he's back on form, I guess. They obviously seem to like tough fixtures, but I don't know if I can see loads of hauls from him. Mopai, good fixtures, not much form, doesn't really haul. And Greenwood, possibly. I think we both discussed or together when we watched the game that he should start against Burnley. In the sort of easier games. I think Greenwood will start. I think he looked pretty good when he came on against Liverpool tonight. So, I don't know. Ings is obviously standing out as one to possibly get. Other than that, I don't know, man. Firmino is an easier replacement if you want to go that way, but not many people are. Could be a differential. I don't know, man. It's not easy.
No.
I can't give you an easy answer, unfortunately.
Well, it's sort of we both sort of thought from what Ollie had said in the press conference on Friday that it sounded like it was going to be fairly short term. I mean, Ollie said something like he has a chance or we've not ruled him out for Sunday. But,
exactly.
I mean, just so smoke and mirrors with that one, because if we'd had any sort of inkling it's going to be this bad, we would have probably done something about it. But now I feel like I haven't got those transfers to swap things in and out. I don't know, just left sort of shooting in the dark about what's actually going to happen. My immediate thought is I will probably do a very boring transfer and transfer Rashford out for the informed DCL, because I think he's got good short-term fixtures and he's got some good stats. But I mean, I suppose you're a bit reluctant to double up on the Everton thing, but none of the other forwards are really doing it for me.
I am, but I would absolutely do that if I wasn't 0.1% short of Mahrez to Salah and Rashford to DCL. I would do that with no problems, but 0.1 short. So, I can't even get Mopai because he's the same price. So that there's no one else really. Obviously, I talked up Tosin a little bit earlier, but 5.7. But yeah, it's not great, is it? No. So it's probably Rashford to Greenwood, keeping Tammy and do whatever else because I don't know. It's so hard.
It is really tough.
I wish there was a week between this week as well, so I could actually digest all of this and look at some stats more. And it's not good.
Yeah, it's really tough that it comes around so quickly, but I don't know. It's the nature of the beast. We've got to react. It's Burnley who are up against Man United, and I thought they were sort of going to be going through, I don't know, a bit of the mire, I suppose, because they had these really tough 4 fixtures back to back, and now after surprising me with that unlikely win against Leicester, after thinking, Pope's finally going to go, he's now well in my team. So that was the joint most saves he's had in a single game this season. Obviously the penalty save as well. It was their first win in 5, so it makes me think, well, do I now want to waste a transfer on a keeper? Probably not. And I don't know, United without Rashford, I think this one is such a difficult one to call now. I actually thought United played quite well against Liverpool. I had considering they had to change their system, didn't have obviously long to prepare for it. Played with James and Martial up front, but I imagine it'll.
Assuming if I bought in Greenwood, would you start him? You'd
have to.
He would start this game.
I think he's probably. So looking at Man United's next 5 fixtures, they've got Burnley, Wolves, and Watford at home, and away games against Chelsea and Everton. I could quite feasibly see that he starts all of those home games and is benched and comes on against Chelsea and Everton. So, just if you can deal with that.
What's his returns been? So he's got a
on the
goal,
fly stats.
Yeah, 8-0-1-1-5. So he's got a goal off the bench in one, then he's got a goal in one where he started. So against Newcastle that was, and then one off the bench against Norwich. So against bad teams, he can get a goal, and they're going to need him, I think, because just James looked pretty bad today. I don't know why he played the 90.
No,
and yeah, I think he should be starting, but Ollie doesn't seem to trust him all the time. But yeah, against Burnley, I think it should be nailed on. Yeah. But
It's hard to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or hard to say. On the other side of Burnley side of things, it's Chris Wood again. I'll just like mentioning his name, Kieran, because that's something nice about Chris Wood. 15 points in the last 3 games. 2 goals in 3 now. 9 goals for the season. That's only 2 behind Harry Kane. I actually had a look at Burnley's fixtures because, I mean, like I've said many weeks in a row now, we're trying to figure out if it's time to get rid of Pope. Their fixtures are actually pretty good from 31 until the end of the season. So the fact that we've got 24 coming up next is only like 5 weeks of, I don't know, middling fixtures, let's say, before we get to that bit. So to be honest,
just look at him on your wild card, I guess.
I think I'm just going to keep hold of him and hope he's all right. Now then, we've also got Liverpool then, the double. They've got Wolves and then they've got West Ham. Obviously, we've watched them. Should we talk about Wolves first? And then, and then, I mean, we've already talked about West Ham a little bit. So let's just talk about Wolves and then just talk about Liverpool, I reckon.
Okay, so XG of 5.95, 5 scored, an XGC of 3.51, sorry, with 6 conceded, which is the 3rd overall, but they're seriously underperforming, so obviously they've conceded way more than expected. No clean sheets since week 15.
Right, okay.
And Liverpool is obviously looking decent attacking wise, I suppose. They've not really been, they haven't kept any, or not scored in any games, I don't think. So, Liverpool should be getting a few goals here, you'd expect. I think it's probably a Liverpool win, right?
Yeah.
Getting close to the wrapping up the season by February. But yeah, players to mention, obviously Jimenez, a lot of people sold him this week for Ings. It's all over Twitter of people selling him for Ings, and Ings obviously getting broken. But down to 16.7% owned.
He's a good differential.
You think he's kind of you think he's kind of done with his sort of hauls and his run of points because he obviously blanked in his last 3, and then he comes back with obviously a massive 13-point haul this week. So you can't really count him out, and you can't count him out in tough games either. So I think he had something like 6 or 5 shots in this week against who did they play again? I'm completely blanking. Southampton. Yeah. So I think he's nice to own if you own him. But I think he's tough to bring in with obviously these fixtures of Liverpool, United, Leicester, Norwich at home. Then they got Tottenham. So tough fixtures. But if you own him, I think it's tough to get rid of him.
I agree. I think if you've held him for those 3, and like I said on the show last week, last time he blanked 3 games in a row earlier this season, he went on a run where he scored 37 points in his next 5. Now the fixtures are tough this time, but I fancied him to bounce back against Southampton, and he's just the kind of player who's capable of getting a double-digit return because we know he can score goals, and he's really good on the assist side of things with key passes and creating big chances. So I mean, I might even, now that Rashford's out, it'll be interesting to see where the money goes, but I wouldn't be surprised after his haul he does come into a lot of people's teams.
I'd like to bring him in, but to bring him in against Liverpool and actively try and go against my captain, or well, not my maybe my captain for the triple game week or the double game week and triple captain chip. So I'm staying away for now, I think. But so someone to mention quickly as well. I'm not sure how long Jota is out for, but Neto at 5 million, 0.1% owned, another huge differential. Played the last 5 or 6, I think, and he seems to be flourishing. He's had 2 goals in 4. But it should really be in like 4 from 4 because VAR has screwed him over about 3 or 4 times. But his XG is 1.12, an XA of 0.66. 6 shots, 2 big chances, 3 key passes, 1 big chance created, 2 goals, 17 points. So like I said, not sure how long he's nailed on for, but uber differential, and he actually looks really good. I've been impressed by him. So someone to consider if you've got a sort of free transfer at 5 million. He's cheap around that Cantwell Fleck price. So I
like it. To talk about this fixture in sort of more general detail, so Liverpool have kept a clean sheet in their last 3 against Wolves, and Wolves are actually undefeated though in 17 of the last 19 home matches, and I believe one of those was against Liverpool. Obviously we've just come off watching the Liverpool Man United game. We've now seen that Liverpool kept 7 clean sheets back to back. They've got this Wolves game, and then the week after that they've got West Ham as part of the double game week. How was your thoughts on which players sort of like changed since watching that game? Like you were quite set on Salah, weren't you? last week. How are you feeling about it now?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, until the end, he didn't do much, but he had that sitter that he missed, and in any other sort of game, he'd probably bury that. So he could have had 2 goals, even though he looked like he was pretty terrible and uninvolved. Yeah. So if you've got a triple captain on Salah with 2 goals, you're probably getting bonus, and then you're laughing. So compared to someone like Robertson or Trent, or Robertson, I guess, would be the other option, who's only got 6 points, no bonus, and Salah's got the 2 goals possibly. So I think I'm still leaning towards Salah, but it does, because of the question marks over Sionku, over Lundstrom, over Sidibe as well, I guess, that being part of my 11, if I bring Salah, it's making me question that for sure. The easy move would just be to do Rashford to Firmino, because Firmino looks pretty good in that game too. Had that goal disallowed. But you can never really trust Firmino, and he's often dropped for Origi in games you just never really expect. So, but there is a week apart between them, and they're looking to wrap up the Prem, aren't they? So
basically, 16 points clear, could go 19 points clear with that game in hand against West Ham.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we're both looking at triple captain chips as well. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I was before this game week, or this game against United, I was really enthused with Mane captaincy, and I was like not wavering in that fact. But he's now blanked in back-to-back games, which is a bit of a worry. But it's only the second. He's only done that once before this season, and then the 2 games.
And Salah's had an assist and a goal in those. That time,
I think he has. But previously, when Mane blanked in 2 consecutive games, he then went and scored 12 and then 2. So you'd be if he did that sort of repeat, and those were in away games against Leicester and United. So if he sort of replicated that form in these 2 away games, you'd be pretty happy with a 14-point haul times 3. What was that? 28. 42 points. You'd be well chuffed. But I feel like Liverpool are so solid at the back, it almost feels like I'm being too restricted in my thinking, not thinking about Trent or Robertson now. Or Van Dijk obviously got the goal today, picked up max points, 15 points. I think he's now the 2nd highest scoring defender in FPL for the season. So I expect he's going to get quite a few transfers in ahead of this one. Alisson obviously picking up that assist. Basically, they're such a good team, Keek. I don't think you can go too far wrong triple captaining any of them. I feel like the point spread from, like, let's say the bottom of the triple captain one, let's say the prime suspects for me are obviously Mane, Salah, Trent, maybe Robbo. I don't think there's going to be more than like a 15-point, 12-point sort of swing from the top to the bottom end of the triple captaincy spectrum, if that makes sense.
Do you think it's less effective to play it this week when everyone is playing it, or would you wait for a possible? There's apparently rumours of a possible Man City triple game week at some point. But I don't know. Would you put it on Mane just because everyone owns him? Would you put it on Salah because it's, I don't know, more chance of a haul possibly, less owned, trying to make up ground? Or you putting it on Trent for the Uber differential, but then if you lose a clean sheet, then it's just like, crap.
That is the
it's
so
there's
tough.
so many things going on here. It's so hard. But like you said, maybe you can't go wrong in any of it, and you just have to play safe. Maybe don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, it's the first time we've had a Liverpool double game week for quite a number of seasons, and we all talked about it like it was going to be amazing. But like all that, the worry about, oh my god, which player is going to score, has sort of like taken over all our thinking, because with each player, you look at it and think on any given day, any of their players could haul, and most of their defenders seem to be on for good bonus when they keep a clean sheet, and they have kept 7 in a row, which obviously sounds amazing from a form point of view.
Is that gonna?
But yeah,
it'd be so obvious to ruin it in double game week, wouldn't it? They keep no clean sheets and after seven in a row.
I think it's already their Premier League record. So can they really extend it to 9? I mean, it would seem really unlikely, but maybe they can. They are that good. So it's really tough. And like I say, I was dead set on captaining Mane. My captaincy has been on him since the game sort of loaded into Gameweek 24 Preview on Saturday morning. But now I feel like maybe I do take what I would consider more of a risk, and because I need to make up a lot of ground, and captain Trent with the triple.
Okay, so right. There's three sort of combinations, I suppose.
Okay.
This has not been updated from tonight, but so the main points per game is Robbo, TAA, and Mane. Those three. The double defense is 8.58 points per game from Gameweek 18 to 23, right? So most recent form and everything. So TAA and Mane and Firmino is second, which is a bit of a surprise, at 8.08 points per game. And then TAA, Mane and Salah, which is what I'm looking at, is 7.83, which is third. And then TAA, Salah and Firmino, 7.58. And then ones with sort of Robbo and Mane and Firmino and Salah are further down. But so yeah, with Salah, so TAA, Mane and Salah, with Salah's points tonight, with Trent's return, they'd probably be up towards the 8.2 points per game-ish, I'd guess, around that. So yeah, again, it doesn't make it any more clear. No. I was looking at tonight for eye test of what could, possibly to say who to bring in, and it really didn't help because Salah was terrible most of the game, and Robertson didn't do much. He wasn't that attacking, didn't really create any chances, to be honest. So,
well, he did. He created that one for. He created a big chance for Salah when Salah fluffed it from about 3 yards out. That was Robertson across that.
Was that from a sure? Yeah. Okay, right.
I see. Kieran was being very kind, making me teas and hot water, so he did miss some of the key moments.
Hot water.
Oh yeah, hot water.
So I think it's just down to pot luck at this point. I'm just going to pick whatever is best for my team.
Okay. Which is what?
I don't know.
Well,
all I know is I need to get rid of Rashford now. So
yeah,
it's whoever is the best to come in for him, I think, will define what I do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've sort of moved into transfers. My immediate thinking, and just like the game week wrap up, I suppose. Do you really want to talk about West Ham and Liverpool? No, I don't really either.
We're kind of
we've talked about West Ham and how poor they are on Liverpool. All right, my immediate thoughts on the transfers are Rashford out for Jimenez or DCL, and Soyuncu out for Robertson. Soyuncu out for Robertson's been in my thinking for a long time, so I don't want to change that just because Rashford's out now.
No, I think that's fine. I think that seems simple for you. Yeah. And how much are you going to have in the bank from that?
Probably quite a lot, which I'm kind of pleased about, because then I would think about upgrading Maddison to potentially Martial or someone in that sort of mid to top end bracket. I think even if I did Rashford out to DCL and Soyuncu to Robertson, I still might have a bit of money in the bank to get to maybe 9 million. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
there's no one around there.
No, there isn't. No, but it's not nice to have.
Okay. For me, again, not sure. I would like to do Rashford to DCL, but like I said, and Mahrez to Salah, but that's I'm 0.1 short. So Rashford to Greenwood looks likely at this point. And then Mahrez maybe to Salah. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't give you much. I'm going to have to do a lot of thinking tonight. Shall we move on to clean sheets and stuff?
Yeah, well, let's do that.
Yeah, okay. Liverpool, I think, could keep at least one is my hope. Everton, I think, should keep one against Newcastle, with terrible form away from home. So, yeah, those two are the nailed on for me, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say Liverpool. I can't really see many others that look indefinite this week. I actually maybe fancy Tottenham to keep another clean sheet at home against Norwich. I would pick Watford as well, actually, just because they've been on a good run. I appreciate it.
The Grealish.
Yeah, I appreciate it's up against our boy Jack and our informed man, but they have been really good recently, and I feel like away against Villa they can shut Tottenham down. I think they can shut. Well, maybe not actually, but I'm just gonna say Watford.
Okay, so captain.
Yeah.
Triple captain possibly.
Right now, it's changed since earlier. I'm gonna balls out and go Trent. And that's footballs out as well, YouTube.
My original thinking before this week was I was going to have Mane, Salah and put the triple captain on Trent just to spice it up, because I think that's fun.
Yeah.
And I do quite like that still, so we'll see. But when it comes down to it, not sure.
You haven't got long to decide. You've got
I know.
less than
Cub
48
pick?
hours. Cub pick.
Cub pick for this
oh,
week.
baby,
Yeah.
it's the man. It's the informer sister in the Premier League right now. It's Big Alisson in goal.
Okay. I had him down as one as well. So I'm going to go for Wijnaldum then.
Oh, okay.
You have to go double weight
Yeah.
game week. So, Alisson was my backup. But yeah, Wijnaldum should play both, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. Oh, I'm pleased that I got in there with Alisson, you know. Okay.
Yeah, he's nailed on.
Yeah, he is.
Well, Wijnaldum
He was
maybe
making some
good.
risky passes tonight.
Yeah, like
Marshall or James had just like stuck out a leg. Things could have got interesting. Right, have we got anything else to chat about?
No, that's it for now.
That's it for now. We were so vexed after the. Well, I listened to Radio 5 Live coming home, and about the chat and about how everyone's saying how poor United were. But I mean, we watched the game. I thought United played really well the last half an hour.
Yeah.
They didn't create many big chances, but didn't have Rashford playing, and Liverpool haven't lost to anyone for God knows how long. So, don't know what people were expecting. I think Ollie's putting together some all right stuff recently. Anyway,
We need Bruno, or it's Ollie out.
God. All right. Okay. That's it. That's the show, isn't it? When are we doing it again? We're gonna do a little show after double game week.
Sure.
We could do a show post the Liverpool West Ham game next Tuesday, and then we have all the updated double game week tiers. Oh no, they're playing on Wednesday. I don't know. We'll figure it out, guys.
We'll see.
We'll let you know, and girls. Yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. Yeah, good luck with your double game weeks. Let us know actually who you're captaining. Put it in a comment to us or tweet us because, yeah, we need some help. All right. Cheers and good luck. Bye from me.
Cheers and good luck, everyone. Bye.
Bye.